If you're growing corn this year, then you need to know when the optimum time to harvest corn is. My very first year growing corn, I was devastated when I realized I had let my corn go too long and it was completely inedible. What I didn't realize that first year is that corn has a very narrow harvesting window, which means you have about 3 days to be able to pick it at the optimum time. So in this video, I'm going to show you examples of when corn is not quite ready to harvest, and then examples of when it is ripe and ready to pick. The first stage of corn development occurs when you see the bright silks at the top of each ear of corn. These silks may be yellow or white, or even they end up turning pink sometimes. And you know that the ear development is on the way, but is not quite ready yet. The next stage you see is when the silks start to brown and dry out. You'll also notice that this actual corn itself will start to angle away from the original stalk just a little bit. That again tells you that your corn is developing properly and it's on its way, but it isn't ready yet. Another way that you can tell that this ear isn't quite ready yet is that it is still thin and it's really hard to the touch. When you start to feel it out, you can notice that it's kind of hard, and then as you bring your hand up, you notice that there is a pretty significant tip right there. As the corn develops, it'll actually fill out from bottom to top, so when it's ready, those top kernels are going to fill out more and you'll be able to feel more of a rounded tip. What I like to look for when I'm ready to pick my corn is you can see that the silk is completely brown and it's completely dried out. It's even a little bit crumbly to the touch, so if you feel it, it's actually pretty easy to take off. Another telltale sign is you can see that this ear is actually very well filled out. So you can feel it from the bottom to the top and it gives a little. It's got a little bit of softness in it from the bottom to the top. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to feel the tip, and if it's not all that pointy like the other one was, but it's more rounded, it's ready to pick. If you're like me, you want to be sure before you harvest the entire corn cob just to make sure it's definitely ready to pick. So what you can do is you can take some of the husk and you can pull it down. And then you'll be able to see right there how developed those corn kernels are. Now don't worry if the very tip of those corn kernels are not all that developed, because the very top ones may never develop correctly. But if you pull it down a little bit further, you can see the bright yellow, depending on what kind of corn you're growing, the bright yellow kernels that are completely filled out. Now the final test is you can take your thumbnail and you can prick one of the kernels. I would take one from maybe a little bit further down and you're going to prick it. And if that substance that comes out is a milky white, it is ready. Now if it's clear, they're not ready. And if no substance comes out at all, sadly you have missed your prime picking time and it's past due. But if it's that milky substance, it is perfect for picking. The final task is to actually pick the corn. And what I'll do is I'll just take it and I'll pull it down off the stalk like that until it snaps. Pull it out and it's ready to go. We are ready for corn on the cob at our house. What about you? If this video has been helpful for you at trying to figure out when the best time to harvest your corn is, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up so more people will be able to find the information that they're looking for in their own corn crop. And be sure to subscribe for future videos. For more beginning gardener tips, be sure and check out my podcast at the Beginner's Garden Podcast. Thank you so much for watching today.